Hello friends, welcome back. This is Rohit Devangan. Today I'll be presenting you rectangle channel, a traditional chart pattern or a classic chart pattern. And this will be our third video in this series. In the previous videos we have created triangle, we have created a double bottom. In this series will cover rectangle channel. Just as a quick overview of the typical chart patterns that we cover in TSR or stock AIO is triangle, head and shoulder, triple top bottom, double top bottom, ascending channel, flag, rounding top and bottom. Now flag and rounding top and bottom is something which we have introduced this week, and in our series we are continuously building and adding more and more patterns. In coming days you should be seeing pennant patterns, cup and handle, and then we'll move into a lot of harmonic patterns like bat, crab, butterfly, cartley, other patterns. Right. So in this case, we will be covering a rectangle channel. Now, the patterns that we covered, the first pattern that we covered was a triangle pattern, which is generally a continuation pattern. Then we covered double bottom and double top, which are typically reversal patterns. Right. Today, we'll be taking one of the consolidation patterns. So we have quite a few consolidation patterns available in TSR. One is horizontal trend line, symmetric triangle. A lot of candlestick patterns are there. Master candle is there, Bollinger Band, and many more consolidation patterns and indicators are available in the system. Standard deviation is another one which helps you to find consolidation. Right. Today what we'll be covering is rectangle channel. Now we'll understand what rectangle channel is. If you have seen the video of trend line, right, then this becomes very natural. Even if you have not seen the video of trend line, you understand that, then it comes out pretty naturally to you. When you see okay, so what is typically a trend line, right? Trend line is joining of two low points or two high points. If they join in one line, they act as a dynamic support and resistance, right? In this case, if you see that the two bottom points or more than two bottom points are getting joined as a single line, so this will act as a support trend line. Likewise, if it joins two upper points or higher points, then it becomes a resistance line, right? And to make things simple, in this one, what we'll cover is two horizontal lines. That means two lines which are almost joining at nearly equal points. So in theoretical world, these are all equal points. In real world, you may have differences of few a fraction of a percentage between these lines. And when these lines get joined, they act as a dynamic support and resistance, right? So by this time you may have got an idea if you have already used trend line, right? This is a trend line plus, right, wherein you have two trend lines and it is getting in between two trend lines, or the stock is getting traded in between two trend lines. So number one is the bottom trend line and the top, and when they are horizontal, they typically form rectangle, because if you have remembered from geometry, if not a problem, it is like a box shaped. If you don't understand rectangle or don't want to remember geometry, fine, just consider them as a box shaped, because they form typically like a box, right? And the price is confined between them. Okay, so like what we do in every case is we give you a theoretical concept what these things are, and then we'll help you to screen them using TSR and stock AIO. So let me go back into the real world of how do you screen in TopStockResearch. If you're familiar with this place, with the menu, well and good. If you're not familiar, then you can simply type rectangle, and then you will get all those screeners. But I'll go with the traditional classical way so that you may be able to discover a little bit more by going through menu. Over here you'll see chart patterns. In chart patterns you have channel. When you click on channel, then this is where the rectangle pattern is. I'm going with the rectangle pattern because it's simplest among all three, and in the interest of time I would want to do justice to each one of them, right? So starting with rectangle because it's very common, number one, and number two is much easier to comprehend compared to others. If you're familiar, you can always use these pattern screeners as well, right? And like in all cases, these patterns are available in all time frame. Starting from 5 minutes all the way to monthly tick, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, daily, weekly, monthly, all the ticks are covered. So let's start with the simplest one, which is EOD, easy to understand. Over here, when you go here, you'll see that these patterns, these many basically stocks have made rectangle pattern. Let's look one of them. When you look one of them, then you see that the height is normally or generally at this level. It is retracing at around this level, and it is bouncing back from this level, right? So falling from this roughly this level and bouncing from this level. We go to another stock. When you look at this, then again when you see this is a slightly longer period, when you see it is falling from this level and rising from this level. Now, typically, a rectangle would be relatively safer because you have already understood trend line, right? So it's trend line plus. As you have learned in trend line, the more number of points, the better the reliability and confidence should be. So over here, if you see that there's another point out here, which is also giving a kind of resistance out here, and there's another point here where around which it is retracing back. So these will be acting as a very good demand zone, and this will be acting as a very good supply zone, and its stock is likely to be here, right? So first thing, trend line we have seen. The second thing is the more number of points, the better the reliability is. Third, also what you need to see is basically, is there something more interesting around this? So let's try to see if there's an interesting candle around here. So when you look at this candle, right, candle being another one, if you see lot of small candles out here, right, lot of small candles out here, that means these are small candles, means that there's a lot of uncertainty or sort of consolidation, or there's a lot of fight between bulls and bears, right? So that should give you more confidence. Of course, this was an different experience because this was election result day. That's why you see a lot of big candles, but small candles should give you better confidence. That's number one. Number two is when it reaches the top level, right, with what volume is it reaching? Is it reaching with high volume? Then you need to be more optimistic of breakout. When it is reaching here with lower set of volume, reaching here with lower set of volume, reaching here with lower set of volume, lower volume, right, that means it is likely to give better support and resistance, because this is the place where bulls are losing hope, and they are not continuing the rally beyond that point, lesser number of participation. So first is trend line. Number two is number of points that we have seen before. Number three is typical candle patterns or candlestick. If you have seen the candlestick video, well and good. Otherwise, you go ahead and watch it. We have a separate tutorial also for that. Right? These are certain things which, in addition to typical pattern. Generally, there's a lot of basically frustration among young traders. When I say young, not in terms of age, but in terms of experience, that oh, everything is looking so good, why I'm losing money, right, when everything is falling in place. These are additional things which will naturally come to you with some practice, of looking at other things, right? Next is Biocon. Let's look at Biocon. Again, we'll see here. So there's sort of basically support around this level. Of course, it's a small period, right? A sort of support around this level. So that is good. Let's see on candle, how does it look like? If you see on the candle, so not too great a thing. We go over here again, look at candle, right? Over here, when you see on the candle, you see that, over here in this pattern, this is where the tweezer pattern is coming. So tweezer pattern is a very good reversal pattern, so it's just bouncing from that level. This level is similar to the previous levels. If you see, if you draw a horizontal line around this place, there's a lot of uncertainty around here, right? There's a lot of uncertainty around here. At this point, it has again bounced with a high volume with a gap up. So that means this is a very good level where a lot of demand is created. So this will help you to create, or basically in addition to filtering the stock, it will also help you to analyze better for better risk reward ratio or better profitability trade. Okay. Likewise, you can filter on any other time interval, maybe 30 minutes. When you go here, you'll see that some stocks forming this pattern on 30 minutes. Likewise, you can look at, if you are looking for a longer period, you may want to look at weekly period. There are certain stocks which are forming in weekly period. So when you see here, this is the level where it really retraced from. This is the support level, right? So stock is likely to move in this direction, but do take care of the other important things like the previous support resistance levels, or sometimes candlestick, or sometimes if it goes with your favorite indicator, let's say RSI, right? So over here, if it is rising RSI, right, so it should give better confidence. Sometimes you see MACD crossover, right, around this level. So around this level, when you see it is bouncing from the same level, and there's a MACD crossover, right, and then MACD crossover is followed by good volume. So this could be looking at, when you're looking at this as a support and resistance, right, these are certain things which will also help you a lot right? Over here you see MACD crossover, you see good volume movement, so you can get in there. Just looking at candlestick, maybe you'll see some interesting things. This is rally base rally, right? So when such a pattern rally base rally is getting formed, if you're familiar with this, well and good. Otherwise we have a separate video on demand and supply, which includes rally base rally, right? So these are certain things which, on top of pure support and resistance or pure theoretical knowledge, these things will come and help you to do better and better trade, and will make you a uh, much more successful trader, right? So likewise, uh, our job is first to filter out things. Likewise, if you're going with RBR, right, rally based rally, then having knowledge of triangle pattern or having knowledge of rectangle pattern or other patterns, right, will help you to become better. So my suggestion would be is that we are creating a lot of patterns, like what we have created flag and double bottom last week. We have released last week. We'll be creating pennant pattern, and then coming days we are also going for harmonic patterns. If we can, we'll definitely make all those important patterns, Cartley patterns, bat, crab, butterfly, shark, all those patterns. We'll try to create them if we can. Okay, so the idea is use this as a first filter, and then always apply other learnings from the other videos so that you can get best profitable trade out of this system, right? The best use of rectangle pattern, one is using support and resistance, what we have seen. The second one is breakout. Like what we know or understand is, like whenever trend line is broken, it gives you a very good break. So understand the psychology of this thing. It is consolidating in this zone. So bulls and bears, they are equally strong. Bears are resisting beyond this point, bull are resisting below this point, right? Whenever this resistance is broken, right, that means there's a lot of demand. The supply is all over. There's a new set of demand is coming, and which is likely to take market higher, right? So that's what is breakout. So in this case, if you just understand the breakout, great. With a trend line, that is good, great. In this case, you get an additional advantage that it is in a particular consolidation zone, so that should give you better confidence. And then once the breakout is there, then it goes into a higher territory. Again, look at all those important things which I have mentioned, like candlestick patterns or previous support and resistance level. So let's see if there's any example, a real world example, which is available on breakout. Let's look channel breakout. Okay, no record today. Breakdown. Okay, nothing on. Okay, so there's one which is in buyers. When you look at buyers over here, there's a breakdown, right? It's a small rectangle. There's a breakdown out here. There's a breakdown, but you should take this breakdown with lot of with a lot of other aspects also, right? First of all, it's a small one. The second thing which gets here is basically it goes with higher volume, and that volume is green. Had this volume been red, then it is a much better breakdown, right? In this case, the candle is green. That means you need to go trade little cautiously. So again, going back into candlestick to get more insights. In this case, when it started, it gave a clear breakdown. It gave a clear breakdown because this level is pretty much respected out for pretty long time, right? But when the breakdown is happening, it started from here. That means it's likely to go low, but during the course of the day, it is going only in the upward direction. So even though it is breakdown, you have to watch it for a day or two more to see that whether this line is broken. If this line is not broken, next day if the candle goes down, then the possibility of breakdown or basically confirmation of breakdown is better, right? So likewise, what I'm trying to say is use these patterns, but also use other learnings. Now this looks like a very good zone. There are a lot of consolidation. Small candles are there, right? Also, it's bouncing almost around that level. It has given a breakdown, but breakdown doesn't seem to be that reliable. Let's try to look at some smaller period. I'm sure there will be more of these breakdowns. Breakdowns, when you see, again, this is a pretty small one. There's a breakdown, again, not that good, right? So the better way of looking at this one is like this. So you'll see much better rectangle. So a breakdown is happening, but it's anyway, when you trade in intraday, you have to you have to be expert in charts, right, to make money. So if you're trading in a smaller period, needless to tell you about those things. When you look at weekly, nothing. 4 hours, maybe something. Nope. No. Okay. Breakout. on 4 hours. No stock today, right? So these are, first of all, rectangle is a rare pattern, and then breakout of rectangle is again becomes more rare, but you can always get there, right? So maybe we'll try to see a breakout or breakdown in a historical world. Maybe we go to P minus 10. Okay, 10 days back there were a lot of breakouts, right, on daily tick. Let's see how they are faring today. So that was 26th of July, and uh, today is 9th of so it is as of 9th of August data, right? Over here there was a breakout was with good volume, and it moved really well, right? So this was a good case of a breakout, but not every case will be good. Next one, you'll see a breakout over this level, right? And then again it has given a good movement. Maybe certain interesting thing was there. It's giving a breakout with a small gap up, so that should give better encouragement, and then it's going up, right? So if you don't get pattern of your this thing settings for today, and you are still in learning, you can always go in the on any back day, and you can see over here there was a breakdown, and then there was certain movement which was nearly theoretical level of this thing. When you say over here, this is the length of the typical target, and then when you see that length was nearly met very soon, right? So it was a good case of a breakout. In this case breakout is happening with good volume, so that should give you better confidence. Maybe certain interesting candlestick pattern, not really, but there was a bearish engulfing. At bottom, right? So which again with a higher volume compared to average volume. So when you plot volume here, maybe 20 volume, these are certain other aspects that you should be looking. So over here it was above the average volume, so it was above average volume, far above average volume, and then bearish engulfing at bottom, almost at this level. So this should automatically give you better confidence that this is a good candidate for trading, right? So it's always easy to tell, in the hindsight, that the things are there, but with some practice the quality of your research would get better. Okay, so that's pretty much about breakout breakdown. Likewise, what we have here is what we have done is rectangle or basically box pattern. We have ascending, descending. We started with a rectangle pattern because we wanted to keep it simple, and also to keep the video length in a pretty decent timing. We are covering rectangle. Very soon we'll be covering ascending, descending, triangle also. If you are familiar with them, feel free to use them. Also, feel free to use other patterns that we created: rounding top, rounding bottom, and flat pattern, right? And in coming days we'll bring you more patterns, right? So that's pretty much about what I really wanted to cover on these patterns, right? Basically over here the audience for this is swing traders, positional traders, short-term traders, beginners. Use with caution, use all those learning, use back testing to see how good this particular pattern is, how well do you understand. If you understand it, you'll make money. If you don't understand it, even with best of the screeners, you may lose money, right? So the key is practice and use our back testing to go back in the history to see if it is really working well. Investors can use it for long term. Advantage of this pattern, number one, is easy to spot. Even if it is not easy to spot, tools like TopStockResearch or Stock AIO will help you to find them. Good risk reward ratio is there, risk management, because it is in a certain consolidation range. Even if the breakout or breakdown is not that successful, there's another layer of support or resistance is available there, right? So chances of losing money in this pattern is relatively low compared to pure trend line this thing, because it is made of two trend lines, right? You can use on multiple time frame, multiple assets, different asset classes. Stop loss is identifiable. Again, regarding stop loss, right, I'll just like to mention out here is generally what happens is so once this level is broken, this is likely to become as a support, right? So what you should be doing is you should be putting certain ways stop loss here and very hard stop loss, definitely stop loss out here, right? Once this level is broken, when this level is breached, right, what you should be doing is you should, depending on the pattern formation, you should be increasing the stop loss continuously. Once this level is broken, you should be increasing, which is called trailing stop loss, rather than keeping just this as a stop loss, right? You need to keep your stop loss, increase the stop loss depending on the candlestick pattern. Sometimes what can happen is sudden there's a U-turn and stock not only breach this but can breach this also. All your profit is wiped out, number one, and then you'll end up in loss from a profit making position. So you should be using trailing stop loss. We'll create a separate video. We have a tutorial about that. We'll create a video about trailing stop loss in one of the upcoming videos, which will help you to maximize your profit and try to limit your loss. Okay, so that was about stop loss. Right? Understanding the market sentiments, it gives you an idea about how the market is moving. It's consolidating, so neither bulls nor bears have any control over the market. Both are trying to fight for their territory and for a zone, right? So that's pretty much about what I wanted to cover about rectangle, right? If you need any particular help, support, right, feel free to call us on these numbers between 10 to 6 Indian Standard Time. Also, we have these numbers mentioned out here for the premium users. If you feel that you have something which should be added in the system, because we are always in that innovation and development phase, feel free to write to us using contact us form. If you feel that you require some more, there are a lot of terms around here, you require some help, you can request for demo. We'll be happy to provide you one-on-one demo. And then if you feel that you need to know more about the product starting from scratch, then we have a video in English and Hindi. Feel free to use them. That will also give you a lot of insights. And then once you have gone through those videos, then asking the questions to a support executive will become much more smoother. It will come out much more natural, and there'll be you will have better quality of questions rather than being little impromptu. So I'll suggest you to go through these videos and then request for demo so that you can make best use of your time. Okay, so for as far as rectangle channel is there, that's all I wanted to cover in this session. Very soon we'll be coming with other patterns. Hopefully we'll be bringing you flag and rounding bottom pattern in coming days. And then in terms of screeners, we are working towards pennant. We are working for cup and handle, and a lot of harmonic patterns will be bringing you in coming days. Yeah, till then, goodbye guys. Safe trading and enjoy the weekend.